Today is February 21st. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today we're going to be finishing off Chapter 11, A Vision for You, pages 162 through 164. We're actually finishing the first 164 pages of the book before we get to the personal stories today. So kind of a milestone, the first for this show. That's pretty cool. We're also going to be reading out the 12 and 12, Step 7, page 72. We're going to finish off that page today and some great stuff in there as well. As I'm recording this, it is pouring the snow. I'm absolutely loving it. Got another big old cup of coffee. Life is good. So I've got a big grin on my face today. Not just because of the coffee, not just because of the snow, but because of the miracle of sobriety. So anyways, with all that aside, let's go ahead and get to the big book. So if you'll recall from yesterday, the big book was talking about how the fellowship is growing, and it was kind of cool how they aspired to reach hundreds, and thanks to a footnote here on the bottom of page 162, written in 1939, in 2017, there are over 118,305 groups. There is AA activity in approximately 180 countries with an estimated membership of over 2 million. And if I were a betting man, I'd say it's a lot more than that now. All right, with all that, my friends, let's get right to it. We're on bottom of page 162. Thus we grow, and so can you, though you be but one man with this book in your hand. We believe and hope that it contains all that you will need to begin. We know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, I'm jittery and alone. I couldn't do that. But you can. You forget that you have just now tapped a source of power much greater than yourself. To duplicate, with such backing, what we have accomplished is only a matter of willingness, patience, and labor. We know of an AA member who was living in a large community. He had lived there but a few weeks when he found that the place probably contained more alcoholics per square mile than any city in the country. This was only a few days ago at this writing, 1939. The authorities were much concerned. He got in touch with a prominent psychiatrist who had undertaken certain responsibilities for the mental health of the community. The doctor proved to be able and exceedingly anxious to adopt any workable method of handling the situation. So he inquired, what did our friend have on the ball? Our friend proceeded to tell him, and with such good effect that the doctor agreed to a test among his patients and certain other alcoholics from a clinic which he attends. Arrangements were also made with the chief psychiatrist of a large public hospital to select still others from the stream of misery which flows through that institution. So our fellow worker will soon have friends galore. Some of them may sink and perhaps never get up. But if our experience is a criterion, more than half of those approached will become fellows of Alcoholics Anonymous. When a few men in the city have found themselves and have discovered the joy of helping others to face life again, there will be no stopping until everyone in that town has had the opportunity to recover, if he can and will. Still, you may say, but I will not have the benefit of contact with you who write this book. We cannot be sure. God will determine that. So you must remember that your real reliance is always upon Him. He will show you how to create the fellowship you crave. Our book is meant to be suggestive only. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Ask Him in your morning meditation what you can do each day for the man who's still sick. The answers will come if your own house is in order. But obviously you cannot transmit something that you haven't got. See to it that your relationship with Him is right, and great events will come to pass for you and countless others. This is the great fact for us. Abandon yourself to God as you understand God. Admit your faults to Him and to your fellows. Clear away the wreckage of your past. Give freely of what you find and join us. We shall be with you in the fellowship of the Spirit, and you will surely meet some of us as you trudge the road of happy destiny. May God bless you and keep you until then. Absolutely beautiful end to the core text here. Definitely want to come back to that in just a second. All right, my friends. So if you recall, we're in step 7 here. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. And we've been talking about humility the last few days. Now we're on page 72, halfway down. Now, the last sentence that we read yesterday was, we never thought of making honesty, tolerance, and true love of man and God the daily basis of living. So what I'm hearing from that is to try to make honesty, tolerance, and true love of man and God the daily basis of living. For me, Rob. So, it's a great reminder right there. Let's get right to the rest of page 72. This lack of anchorage to any permanent values, this blindness to the true purpose of our lives, produced another bad result. For just so long as we are convinced that we could live exclusively by our own individual strength and intelligence, for just that long was a working faith in a higher power impossible. This was true even when we believed that God existed. We could actually have earnest religious beliefs which remained barren because we were still trying to play God ourselves. As long as we placed self-reliance first, a genuine reliance upon a higher power was out of the question. That basic ingredient of all humility, a desire to seek God and do God's will, was missing. For us, the process of gaining a new perspective was unbelievably painful. It was only by repeated humiliations that we were forced to learn something about humility. It was only at the end of a long road, marked by successive defeats and humiliations, and the final crushing of our self-sufficiency, that we began to feel humility as something more than a condition of groveling despair. Every newcomer in Alcoholics Anonymous is told, and soon realizes for himself, that his humble admission of powerlessness over alcohol is his first step toward liberation from its paralyzing grip. All right, so that wraps up today's reading, my friends. So first of all, this line right here, we could actually have earnest religious beliefs which remained barren because we were still trying to play God ourselves. I didn't actively know I was doing that, but I was. By trying to control everything, trying to make things go my way, to manipulate people to like me and put on this mask for this situation and this one for this one. I was trying to be that director that the big book talks about. I was trying to be the one trying to make all the actors do exactly what he wanted. And a lot of times for me, I found out it was for acceptance. You know, if I pretended to be somebody else, maybe you'd like me. I so desired to be liked. And I don't really know where that came from, but I would try to manipulate and control. And you know, the sad thing was, even when I tried to do all that, there were still people who didn't like me. So I might as well just be the guy that God intended me for me to be anyway, right? But I love this. A genuine reliance upon a higher power. The basic ingredient of all humility is the desire to seek and do God's will. Man, that is a easy to understand and yet beautiful representation of humility right there. To seek and do God's will. I have to ask, God, what is your will for my life today? Okay, well, I'm afraid to do that. Can you give me the strength to do it? And then go, and then do it. Sometimes it's easier said than done. But I've learned from experience when I do these things, whatever they might be, He always provides the tools for me to be able to do it. And yet I end up being the one who's blessed. Go figure. As it says a little bit further down, the very first step of the 12 suggestions here is all about humility, admitting that we're powerless. And it says right here, the humble admission of powerlessness over alcohol is his first step toward liberation from its paralyzing grip. So that sounds so paradoxical, right? That admitting powerless is the first step towards liberation, towards freedom? How is that so? Well, it's just the way this program works. And I can say from personal experience that this has definitely been true in my life. So moving back to the big book real quick. Page 164 is filled with some great nuggets of wisdom here. Second paragraph, it says, our book is meant to be suggestive only. These are not commandments here. And, I think it's pretty powerful that here, right in the late 1930s, this book still doesn't come across that preachy to me, because a lot of times they make the effort of saying these are only suggestions. There's no one set way to do this. And I feel like that kind of opens the door for a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds to at least give it a shot, these suggestions, by attraction rather than promotion, right? So it says, our book is meant to be suggestive only. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. And buddy, that's the truth. That is the truth. In my sobriety, I feel like God's helped me learn a lot more than when I first started, and will continue to do so if I continue to do what I'm supposed to do, at least what my soul needs. Now, like this, ask him in your morning meditation what you can do each day for the man who's still sick. Once again, service. The answers will come if your own house is in order. And for me, I guess what that means to me is just, I'll be a work in progress. God, please help me with these character defects today, and help me to be of service to others. And I love this last part, this last paragraph here. Abandon yourself to God. So relieve me of the bondage of self. As you understand God, admit your faults to him and your fellows. Clear away the wreckage of your past. Give freely of what you find. I love that part too. No conditions. Carry the message. Help the fellow man who's still sick. Do it with a joyful heart. I love this part. We shall be with you in the fellowship of the Spirit. I've met some friends in my recovery that I know if stuff were to really hit the fan, they would have my back. I have gained so much in sobriety. A stronger relationship with my higher power, a stronger desire to help my fellow man, and a family. I have gained a family in sobriety. A family that I am proud to trudge with on this road of happy destiny. So with all that, my friends, may God bless you and keep you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.